The new garbage bags are literally in the can under the other garbage bag.
It's too much to ask.
You tie it, you put it down, you get the new bag.
We're about to have a fight
when
on
there's
camera.
no garbage bag in there, what happens? The next person comes along with garbage, throws it in. Oh, there's no garbage bag.
Being unaware, basically, is what she's saying. We're about to have
Hi, guys.
Hey, everybody. This is Jentry.
And Kim Sue.
And this is episode 3 of our Kaizen Living. Today, we're actually talking this morning about how much we are around each other, like a lot, and how weird it's got to be for a lot of you that are just like never around each other, like having to go to work, like you're not used to being around each other for long extended periods of time, and especially now with all of these counties and states and possibly the entire country being on lockdown, you might not be used to being in close proximity with your spouse and with your children as much as we are. I would say that we're pretty odd in the sense of like we love being around each other as much as possible, but there are absolutely times that we want to like choke the life out of each other. And so we thought that it might be a good topic for all of you that might be going through lockdown and quarantine and self-isolation, all that stuff, to maybe have some just tips and tricks that have helped us in our relationship, and extend that to you guys and see if it might be of benefit to all of you.
Yeah, it's stuff that's working for us and has been working for us, kind of helping us to just communicate better and for us to kind of, draw boundaries, even our personal boundaries within a relationship, and do it in a way that's healthy and cohesive. We just hope that maybe some of the things that are working for us will also work for you.
Absolutely.
So that you can actually enjoy this time together.
Absolutely. And I would say that we've been around each other pretty close for the better part of 5 years.
Yeah.
So we've been kind of self-quarantining for 5 years now. So for us, this is kind of like just a normal way of life for us and for our family.
Yeah, we stopped drinking about that time, actually.
That's
and
correct.
So when we quit drinking, it kind of pushed us into a little bit of an isolation because we didn't want to be around it. And so it really changed the dynamics within like our friendships and our other relationships, and kind of finding a new dynamic with ourselves too, and changing patterns and habits. And so I think quitting drinking as well as becoming monogamous had a huge change on kind of whether we were that social or becoming more homebodies, to be honest. And
right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just going to give a little bit of a backstory about our relationship and the tools that we use to start forging a really just a meaningful relationship for ourselves. And this is just for us. This is not to give advice to you. It's just talking about ourselves. But we'll go into like a little bit of our backstory and then some boundaries, like she just said, some boundaries and some guidelines that we practice at home on a daily basis that really helps us have a healthy relationship.
It also helps to have a partner who is also willing to work with you and really willing to respect you and kind of do these things. I understand that not everybody is in that predicament. Even if that's the case, you can still use these habits for yourself and for your own personal growth.
These things are literally guidelines that we practice individually so that when we enter into a relationship or any kind of communication with each other, any kind of dynamic, we are bringing these things individually to the table, which then allows for both of us to meet evenly as opposed to demanding that the other person reciprocate what we're asking for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Although we do sometimes, and it doesn't turn out very well.
When we started dating, one of the first things that I had asked Kim Sue to do was to read a book called Radical Honesty. It was by Dr. Brad Blanton. And it was something that I needed for myself, and that I wanted her to know, like, this is how I'm going to communicate with you on all levels in the future. And radical honesty is literally just that. It is being as honest to the bone as you possibly can, without any fear of judgment. Another book that she had already read was The Four Agreements but it's something that I practice in my business. It's something that I want to practice in my home. And so those were the two things that I asked of Kim Sue when she and I first started dating, because that was going to be the pace of.
You gave me homework.
I gave her homework. I gave her a headache and homework. But it was just the way that I was going to live my life, and this is how I was going to conduct myself. And she knew what she was expecting, and I wanted to be able to expect the same in return.
And so the 4 agreements and radical honesty were kind of pivotal, starting us on our journey of having a healthy relationship. I don't think either one of us really had a healthy relationship long term. And I know that that was something that I really craved and didn't necessarily know how to do.
Yeah, I didn't either.
And so those 2 books really helped us a lot on our journey.
I would say it's still helping us.
It does. It still does. Yeah.
Because I've never been in a long-term marriage. I've never been a father before, and I've never done today before. And so these tools really help me conduct myself and navigate today. And that's.
I'm going to turn it off so we can finish.
Our baby is on the baby monitor. She's going, I want out. She's referring to her crib. Everything okay?
I mean, we just muted her. Well, she's used to waiting, so she'll be all right. Okay, let's make this quick.
All right, so we're going to hurry this up so we can get to our children.
Check out those books. Great reads for this time when you're at home.
So we'll get right into it.
Okay, so first, I would recommend just remembering to practice kindness. Kindness goes a long ways. We are often kind of a little antsy right now, and we're feeling a little overwhelmed sometimes, even if we're not admitting it. I think we hold it in our bodies. And so some of that frustration can come out to the people that are closest to you. Following that would be communicating what your needs are and what your wants are as far as time alone, just what you're needing. So I personally, every morning, I told Jentry, I need time alone where I can do my makeup in the morning without anyone around me, by myself, so that I can listen to Wayne Dyer or the Tao or something biblical, something that's going to feed me spiritually. Like, that is my time to ground myself. That is my time to remind myself what's important. And that is my time to focus on me. And so that half an hour is something I need every morning. And that's a big deal for me.
And for her to communicate that with me was really imperative for me to know that this is a non-negotiable priority for her, which then allowed me to know, okay, I'm going to turn her needs into a must. And then that way it allowed for me to kind of navigate my day about, okay, well, I'm going to do this instead to support her needs. And I think that this is important because we're not mind readers. Like, we know each other. We've known each other intimately for a long time. I'm sure that you have been with your spouse as well. But you're not mind readers. So in order for her to tell me what it is that she's really needing and wanting, it allows for me to really dial in and know where I'm succeeding or I'm failing as a partner. To kind of be on the flip side of that coin, and I think that this is extremely important. Don't assume that one of your wants or your desires needs to be your spouse's priority. And what I mean by that is, just because this is a want or a desire of yours or a need of yours does not mean that it takes precedence over your spouse's priorities. I cannot assume that just because I need it and I want it, I need to make it her responsibility. I am also responsible for making sure that time gets carved out for myself, where it's not going to be imposing on my family or on her needs or wants. I think that that's an important part of that same coin. Yes, tell your spouse what it is that you need, but also make sure that you're not putting the priority on your spouse to make that a priority for you.
Unmet expectations end up, really setting the stage for resentment. And so it's important to just pull back a little bit, ease up on your spouse, on your partner, your children.
I do want to say right now in this time is that I think culturally speaking in our society, we have been a culture of doing, going. I know that we have been that way with our children, with our schedules, with work, with our side projects, with our passions, and side hustles. And I think that right now we are literally being asked to stop. We are literally being asked to just be present with ourselves.
Put on the brakes.
Put on the brakes.
Reset.
And that is going to be extremely hard for a lot of people. And so I was telling Kim Sue this morning that what humanity and what our culture and what our society is being asked to do right now is imagine like a car is going 100 miles an hour and it has been doing this momentum for a long time. Well, it sees something in the distance and it has to slam on its brakes in order not to hit that thing. It is going to take time for that vehicle to slow down. So right now, above anything else, give yourself grace and patience and compassion for the time that it's going to take to kind of slow down the momentum. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself right now. Another rule that we live by is forgive and forgive quickly. You want to talk on
that? Okay. Yeah, so forgiving. We make mistakes. We mess up all the time. I mean, literally every day, and so it's best to catch yourself quickly and not let it escalate. And as soon as you catch yourself, it's really best to let the other person know that you're sorry. And in return, you should really practice, if you were the other person, to reciprocate the apology.
We have a tendency to try to forgive first. We'll get in the momentum of an argument. And I think a lot of people think that like we don't argue, we argue. And we also forgive a lot and we extend a lot and we grow and learn a lot. And I think that it's important for us in our dynamic that we always try to be the person to forgive first, but it is what she's saying is it's extremely important for the person that offered the forgiveness to be offered a forgiveness as well. And so if I say, hey, Kim Sue, I'm really, really sorry for not putting a trash bag liner in the trash can, she would normally or generally come back with, I'm sorry that I put that expectation. I'm sorry that I reacted the way that I did. And so we accept that forgiveness from each other and we offer forgiveness to each other. And we try to do that as fast as possible.
And let's not forget to take care of the basics during this time. Eating well. For your immune system, you need to eat well. This is a time where you kind of like, I'll just have sugar. Let's eat something sweet,
I think we're all wanting to stress eat right now.
We're all wanting to stress eat.
Yeah.
Like, let's bake a cake. I don't know. But make healthier choices. Maybe bake that cake, but maybe instead of using refined sugar, try using honey or maple syrup. Just do little swaps just so that you're eating real food and that you're not, that you are treating your body like a temple right now. That's important. Get enough sleep. Get your 8 hours. Exercise, move your body on the daily.
And I think that that's important because I don't know about you, but I'm seeing a lot on like my social media feed. People are like, when they're talking about like quarantine, they're like basically like house arrest, like they can't leave their house. Mm-hmm. Go outside, like
walk. You're allowed to go walking. You're allowed to run if you like to run.
Do your neighborhood. Just cross the street if you see somebody coming your way. You know what I mean? Like go outside. Just don't be around other people unless it's your household. And I think that a lot of people are just like they're feeling like they're confined to their front yard or their backyard. No. Go out, but stay away from other people.
Don't walk somewhere where it's busy, where it's a popular place to walk. Discover someplace new. And I would remind yourselves to kind of feed yourself spiritually. Like I said, that time in the morning every day for me to reset has been vital, just to ground me and to give me some goals for that day even.
And for me, I do it in the evening time. She does it in the morning. I like to do it in the evening because my brain just goes wild in the evening. And so for me to really do like a grounding ritual at night has been really helpful for me.
A meditation for him.
Yeah.
It looks different for everybody. Pray, meditate, have some time that's just quiet,
Absolutely.
Read your Bible, read the Tao, read, and listen to podcasts that also bring you, to a more elevated energy level. And as far as like meals and chores in the home, because we are at home together now, and there's no work really outside the home. So we are able to kind of divvy up the chores and the meals and help out a little bit more. One of us will just jump on and do something, and then the other one will kind of pick up the slack.
Absolutely.
And it works well for us. And you might not be in a partnership where you have somebody that's willing to work with you or kind of pick up the slack where you're not. And I think more than ever, it's important to remember that, just to have a servant's heart. You're not doing this so much for the other person, although it is a gift for the other person. You're doing this more as kind of your life's purpose and serving and having a heart that serves the bigger purpose.
It's removing the expectation of the other person to behave or perform in any way.
It's more of your personal work with God.
Or your higher self or nature or science, whatever it is that you want
Your
to call it.
best self,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the other things that we've been talking a lot about is we have a lot of projects that we wanted to do, writing and this and podcasting and creating some projects around the house. Last night we had a really beautiful conversation where I just said, let's just go all in on our passions. Let's just go all in. We have 30 days at least. Some of us have longer, but we have 30 days to, and that's enough time to actually create a new habit. We have 30 days to do something really magical. And there's never been a time like this in history where as a collective consciousness, we can all kind of like just stop and really be with ourselves and really focus on what is it that it is truly that we are wanting for ourselves and for our life. And if we were to really dial in on what it is that we're wanting for ourselves and for our future, what would happen if we spent the next 30 days to go 100% all in? 100% all in. What could we actually get accomplished?
What could we actually learn?
So one of the things that we're doing is we're setting up projects for ourselves that we're going to dedicate 100% of our time and energy to, aside from our family unit. Mm-hmm. And one of the things happens to be this.
Yes, yeah.
So maybe consider with your partner or even individually having a project that you're going to just dive 100% into. Yeah. And it might be something as simple as like, how can I make my business better? Your already existing business, how can you make it better? How can I make my home better? Like whatever it may be, just 100% dedication, all in. To use this time, to not squander this time on like trying to fix the past. Because I think that like as business owners, like that's where I'm at right now is like, what could I have done differently? How could I have avoided this? How could I have protected my team more? How could I have provided for my family more? How could I have saved more money? Like all these things that these woulda, coulda, shouldas. And to really focus on what is really important today. And instead of dwelling on the mistakes that I've made maybe in the past, like how can I better myself for the future? How can I better my family for the future? And right now is like this amazing gift that like, we will get through this and this will pass. Like, what is our choice going to be? Are we going to just go back to what was fucking comfortable and normal? Or are we going to do something new and different and profound and meaningful with our life? This is like the ultimate reset button in our culture and for today's society. And I am like beyond excited about the opportunities coming up.
I think it's important though to acknowledge the fear that you have and kind of use that fear to plan for the future. Use that fear to create change. Like Jentry said, what would you do differently? What we're going through, even though we've never gone through in the past, I don't think this is the last time we're going to go through this in our lifetime. No. It's kind of scary, yes, but how do we take what we're learning from this and use that for our benefit to even, to succeed in the future should this happen again? And then when your fear kind of takes you down the road, which it will sometimes, a great way that I like to kind of, stop the downhill snowball of fear in my own head is to practice gratitude. Gratitude will flip fear right on its head. There's so much to be grateful for. You can literally start from the top of your head, from the hairs on your head, to your vision, to your hearing, to your sense of smell, to your taste. You can go from head to toe, literally. You can have a journal where you start and you just say thank you from the things on the top and work down if you want to. Gratitude will do so much for yourself. It will do so much for your psyche, and it will do so much for those around you.
And if you do that enough times, you'll actually start reprogramming your brain to focus on the good shit as opposed to the fear-based stuff. And I think that is such an incredible self-empowering gift. That is such a beautiful reminder. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, and so we've never talked about what Kaizen actually means. It means the art of constantly improving. And so living intentionally in a way that's going to bring you to elevate and grow. That's what we believe in fully and wholeheartedly, and that's what we're hoping for you.
I hope that this is valuable to all of you. And again, we're just so grateful that you're even choosing to watch what we're doing.
Yes.
Well, I think the last time we checked, we had 37 subscribers.
Yay!
37. Our first video, we got 15. Our second video,
We're grateful
37.
for you guys.
Yeah, this
And
is incredible.
If there's any kind of gem that really spoke to you, please leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe if you haven't done so. And we'll see you soon.
You guys have a great day.